Years earlier, the zombie outbreak caught humanity completely unprepared, sweeping across the globe and wiping out millions. With civilization collapsing, the remaining survivors retreated behind fortified walls, allowing the undead to wander freely through deserted towns. Now, Riley and Mike are parked on a rooftop overlooking one of these abandoned towns, silently observing the zombies that shuffle through the empty streets. Riley notes how the undead seem to mimic fragments of their old lives. Some clumsily paw at musical instruments, others move like they're working in shops, and one large zombie, known to them as Big Daddy, grips a gas nozzle and repeatedly tries to fuel an invisible car. Riley wonders aloud if these creatures are slowly evolving, something that scares him far more than any horde. Suddenly, Big Daddy lifts his head and emits a deep, guttural growl. He has sensed living humans nearby. Riley signals Mike, and the two slip away before they're spotted. Elsewhere, Cholo and his crew pull up to a landfill, tossing out sealed metal crates. When they notice a half-crushed zombie squirming in the dirt, they casually shoot in the skull before dumping the final crate, this one leaking suspicious trails of blood. Back at the edge of town, Riley and Mike are startled when a man with a severely scarred face emerges from the shadows. Mike aims his weapon, but Riley stops him. It's only Charlie, their loyal sharpshooter. As fireworks erupt in the distance, lighting up the sky, the three men return to their armored juggernaut, the massive weapons-mounted vehicle Riley designed, known as Dead Reckoning. Cholo and his scavenging team join them shortly after. Riley tries once more to warn Cholo that the undead are changing, thinking, maybe communicating, but Cholo laughs it off. Mounting his motorcycle, he tells Mike they always scavenge at night, so they can use fireworks as decoys. Zombies, he explains, can't look away from the shimmering lights. Sure enough, the humans roar through the town on motorbikes and jeeps, grabbing supplies and shooting zombies while dazzling them with the fireworks. The undead freeze, mesmerized by the colors, except Big Daddy. He ignores the lights completely and tries to snap the other zombies out of their trance, but none respond. When several zombies are gunned down in front of him, Big Daddy erupts in a grief-stricken roar and crushes one fallen zombie's skull under his boot. Suddenly, the fireworks malfunction and stop glowing. Riley has to quickly shoot a zombie getting too close to his Jeep. He radios the Dead Reckoning, and Pretty Boy reports the launcher is jammed. Riley immediately orders everyone to retreat. Dead Reckoning unleashes its heavy guns, blasting approaching zombies and triggering fireballs across the town as Riley's crew races back through the streets. But Cholo doesn't return. Riley calls him repeatedly, only for Cholo to say he has something else to finish. Inside a liquor store, Cholo, Foxy, and Mike rummage for alcohol. When Cholo opens a refrigerator, a zombie bursts out and tackles him. After a struggle on the floor, Cholo grabs one of his spear-tipped guns and fires it directly into the zombie's head. He dumps a pile of cigarettes on the counter and orders Mike to collect them while he and Foxy carry booze outside. As Mike reaches toward the register, a hidden zombie suddenly lunges out and bites his arm. Mike runs out in panic as the zombie crawls after him, but Riley arrives just in time and shoots the creature. Cholo immediately lifts his gun, insisting he has to end Mike's life before he turns. Riley argues with him, but before they can settle it, Mike takes the gun and ends his own life. Riley orders a team to leave the town immediately. Behind them, Big Daddy picks up a discarded assault rifle. Instead of fumbling with it, the zombie tests the weapon, lets out a furious roar, and begins marching after the escaping vehicles. Dozens of zombies fall in behind him. Moments later, Riley's crew reaches a fortified checkpoint outside one of the last functioning human cities. Inside the city, the wealthy live in a luxurious tower called Fiddler Green, while the poor are crammed into slums around its base. Electrified fences and armed patrols guard the perimeter. The city is surrounded by water, with only one main bridge for access. After unloading supplies, Riley angrily confronts Cholo, blaming him for Mike's death. Cholo coldly replies that Mike understood the risks and that he needs money badly. Selling alcohol is one of the only ways someone like him can ever hope to live in Fiddler Green. The next morning, Riley and Charlie head into the slums to deliver medicine to Mulligan, a local activist trying to spark a rebellion against the rich elites. Riley doesn't care about politics. He just wants to help Mulligan's sick son. Later, Riley discovers a used car he bought yesterday has already been stolen. Searching for answers, he and Charlie head to an underground entertainment den where the poor use zombies for sick amusement, posing with chain undead or betting on fights between zombies and helpless victims. Disgusted, Riley confronts Chihuahua, the man running the joint, demanding to know where his stolen car is. Chihuahua pretends ignorance. Meanwhile, inside the fighting cage, a woman named Slack is thrown in as bait for zombies. She desperately claws up the fence while the undead tug her back down as the crowd cheers. Horrified, Riley storms in and opens fire, killing the zombies and scattering the crowd. Chihuahua tries to shoot Charlie during the chaos, but kills an innocent bystander instead. Riley spins around just as Chihuahua opens fire. Slack shoves Riley aside and takes a bullet in the arm. Charlie calmly raises his gun and shoots Chihuahua in the head. Before Riley can help Slack, the police storm in and arrest everyone. In jail, Slack tells Riley she was thrown in the fighting pit on orders from Kaufman, the tyrannical leader of the city. She was punished for helping Mulligan's resistance movement. She explained she trained for military service before the apocalypse, but once society collapsed, they force her into exploitation work instead. Riley doesn't care about the rebellion. He just wants his car, so he can leave the city forever. Their conversation is interrupted when guards drag in Mulligan, arrested again for inciting unrest. Meanwhile, Big Daddy and the zombie horde encounter a barricade blocking the road. Big Daddy signals a butcher zombie to cut through the boards. As he pushes forward, he discovers several zombies hanging upside down with painted targets on their bodies. Human shooting practice. Big Daddy releases a furious howl. At the same time, Cholo heads toward Fiddler Green, where only the wealthy elite live behind reinforced walls and marble hallways. He enters through a back route and runs into Kaufman's paranoid butler, Nip, who claims he's been hearing strange noises from a nearby apartment. Cholo, always irritated, kicks open the door and finds a dead man hanging. He grabs a heavy statue to destroy the man's brain, but the widow sobs and begs him not to. Before they can argue further, the supposedly dead husband jolts awake as a zombie and launches onto his own son, biting him in the throat. The widow screams as the creature turns on her, but Cholo smashes its skull with the statue. Only now does a guard finally arrive, and Cholo leaves him to handle the mess. Cholo then storms into Kaufman's high-rise office. He unloads expensive liquor, cigars, and antiques he looted, demanding that Kaufman finally allow him to move into the luxury tower permanently. Kaufman coldly refuses, telling him men like him don't belong there. Enraged, Cholo reveals he's been cleaning up Kaufman's political enemies for years. Those bodies in the bloody boxes were all Kaufman's rivals. The leader shrugs, uncaring, and calls in security. Cholo storms out, fully aware the guard will be ordered to kill him. In the stairwell, the guard attempts exactly that, but Cholo overpowers him and takes his gun. As night falls, Cholo and his crew head to the fortified base and pull off a bold plan. They hijack the Dead Reckoning, overpowering its guards and taking command of the armored juggernaut. Near the outer fence, two soldiers training with an inflatable dummy hear rustling. They shine their lights to reveal Big Daddy, who immediately tears into them. Alarms blare. More soldiers rush out to defend the unelectrified access fence as the entire zombie horde pushes against it. Despite their gunfire, the zombies topple fence and pour into the base. The soldiers are overwhelmed and consumed in minutes. While chaos erupts behind them, Cholo drives the stolen Dead Reckoning away. Big Daddy fires at the armored vehicle, but the bullets bounce harmlessly off, instead striking fuel tanks and blowing up half the base. With the soldiers slaughtered, the undead swarm toward the distant glow of Fiddler Green. Cholo calls Kaufman from the stolen vehicle. $5 million. On a boat at the pier. By midnight. Or I turn this thing around and level your tower. Kaufman refuses and orders Riley released from prison. Riley is brought into Kaufman's office, where Kaufman hires him to retrieve the dead reckoning. Riley counters. He wants a fully armed car, his friends freed, and no more interference. Desperate, Kaufman agrees. Meanwhile, Cholo's young partner Mouse rides ahead to the port on his skateboard to wait for Kaufman's payment. He hides in a warehouse, but soon hears unsettling rustling, rats at first and then zombies. Within moments, Mouse is cornered and devoured. Back at the ruin base, Riley and his reunited friends, Charlie, Slack, and new recruits Maton and Pillsbury, search for supplies. They witness the carnage from Big Daddy's assault. Charlie saves Slack when a zombie sneaks up behind her, and Slack saves Charlie moments later, shooting another zombie but accidentally deafening him temporarily. Inside a building, Riley encounters a zombie soldier feasting on corpses. He kills it, only to find an entire group of feasting undead behind it. With the creatures distracted, Riley and Monoletta eliminate every one of them, retrieve ammo, and regroup, only for a grotesque zombie with its head nearly detached to bite Monoletta. Charlie shoots through its torso to hit the dangling skull, killing it. Slack finishes Monoletta to spare him from turning. Tracking the dead reckoning's movements, Riley realizes it's heading toward a hill, perfect missile-launching angle over Fiddler Green. Slack drives off-road to intercept Cholo first. Maton tries to betray Riley, but Pillsbury knocks her out. He's switched sides. When the dead reckoning arrives, Riley boards and confronts Cholo. Cholo argues that Kaufman is worse than any zombie, and that destroying the tower is justice. Riley insists innocent people will die. Meanwhile, the zombie horde reaches the river. Undead don't breathe. They simply sink and walk underwater across the riverbed, emerging on the far shore. Inside the city, chaos explodes as zombies pour in. Soldiers are dismembered, guns are stolen, and the undead mimic human actions with murderous efficiency. Big Daddy picks up a fallen soldier's assault rifle and teaches another zombie how to fire it. The city's wealthy flee in terror as Big Daddy's forces smash into Fiddler Green, armed with construction tools stolen along the way. Back on the hill, Cholo tries to fire missiles at midnight. Nothing happens. Riley reveals he secretly disabled them through the tracking device, then smashes it. Cholo snaps and attacks him. Meanwhile, Maton awakens and tries to shoot Riley, but a zombie grabs her face and mauls her. Slack kills both zombie and traitor. Riley looks at Cholo and realizes he's been shot, likely fatally, from Maton's earlier gunfire. In Fiddler Green, Kaufman loots vault after vault, stuffing duffel bags with cash. When a board member confronts him, Kaufman shoots him without hesitation. Riley calls to warn him zombies have overrun the city, but Kaufman refuses to believe it, until explosions echo behind him. Riley orders his team back to save as many people as they can. Cholo chooses not to go, mortally wounded. He asks Foxy to help him reach an outpost. As they travel, Cholo is bitten by another zombie. He decides he wants to do one last thing before dying. Foxy drops him off, says goodbye, and leaves him with a gun. The dead reckoning rushes toward Fiddler Green. But by the time they arrive, the streets are flooded with blood. Survivors cling to fences, unable to escape because the power plant is offline and nobody can lower the electrified gates. Riley demands the drawbridge be lowered. They race to another access point. Slack shoots open the locked control room door as zombies surround the vehicle. A zombie ambushes Riley, causing him to drop his gun. After wrestling atop a metal girder, he shoves the zombie off, and a descending bridge slices off its head. From the roof hatch, the team fires at the advancing horde. Pretty Boy drives forward, crushing zombies under the treads. Inside Fiddler Green, Kaufman and Nip try to escape through a garage, but run straight into Big Daddy. Bullets fail to harm the zombie, so Nip drags Kaufman to a car. Big Daddy jams a fuel nozzle through the window and fills the car interior with gasoline. Then he walks away. As Kaufman crawls out, burned, coughing, zombie Cholo appears. Kaufman shoots him frantically, but Cholo is already dead inside. Big Daddy returns holding a flaming propane tank and tosses it onto the gasoline-soaked car. The explosion incinerates Kaufman and Cholo together. Meanwhile, Riley orders Charlie to fire the missiles. The explosions wipe out the entire surround horde. Survivors emerge trembling from basements and shops. Riley's team celebrates. Many lives were saved. Mulligan urges Riley to join the rebellion, but Riley declines. He plans to take Charlie, Slack, and Pillsbury north, far from cities, people, and wars. Just then, a zombie stowaway leaps onto the dead reckoning, but Pillsbury shoots it instantly. On a distant bridge, Big Daddy and the surviving zombies walk away into the wilderness. Pretty Boy asks if they should shoot, but Riley refuses. They're just looking for a place to live. Same as us. The dead reckoning fires fireworks into the sky as Riley and his friends drive toward Canada, leaving the burning ruins of Fiddler Green behind.